Hey there, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here for the Saturday night episode of What's New. This is a show I put on every week in which I take an album released in 2024 and I kind of talk about it, give my feelings about it, maybe break it down a bit. Basically it's just for a kind of review of the album that's been released, for albums released from 2024. So the album we're going to do tonight is Heavy Lifting from a band called MC5. Now MC5 has not had an album since 1971, at least not a studio album. Probably their biggest album was Kick Out the Jam, which is a live album. And so they decided they were going to release another one like 50 some years later. So the album was put out on October the 18th, 2024. It's about 45 minutes in length on the Ear Music label, and it was produced by none other than Bob Ezrin. So 13 tracks in total. Appearing on this album are Wayne Granger, guitars, backing vocals, co-lead vocals on the Edge of the Switchblade, and 25 Miles. Brad Brooks does lead vocals on everything except Edge of the Switchblade. Don Was, bass except on Because of Your Car. Abe I can never pronounce this name. I'm going to try and Laboriel Jr., drums, except on Because of the Car, Blind Eye, and Can't Be Found. Steve Salas, guitar on Because of Your Car, and Vicky Randall on bass on Because of Your Car, and Winston Watson, drums on Because of Your Car. So, the last two surviving members of MC5, Wayne Kramer, I don't know why I want to say Granger. It kind of reminds me of that baseball player. Maybe that's what it is. Anyways, Wayne Kramer and Dennis Thompson, I believe, is the guy. Yeah, Dennis Thompson. So those are the last two remaining members of the band. They both died this year. And the album actually came out just prior to Kramer's death. So this will likely be the last MC5 album. It took them 50 years to come up with the third one, so I doubt they're going to be doing any more. But you never know. There could be somebody. All the original members are dead, so unless somebody has the rights to it, I don't see it happening. So there are 13 tracks, as I said, on this album. So overall, the album is... it's a hard rock album, basically. Lots of really catchy riffing. The guitar solos are good, tasteful. It's got a kind of a rough edge to it, the album. Got that little bit of that punky feel to it at times. There's a hint of Leonard Skinner sound here at times as well. I think it's a pretty solid album. A couple of songs are a little bit less hard rockish. One of them maybe a little more bluesy. The other one a lot more funky. So we will break those down. Some solid drums here, great guitar playing, and the vocals are kind of mid-range to high in sound, but kind of raspy at times, but very clear, easy to understand the lyrics and what he's saying throughout the entire track. Kind of an easy song to follow. They're really catchy songs, a lot of them. So we'll get to it. Opening track called Heavy Lifting, which is the title track. Tom Morello featured on this particular track. It's got some heavy guitar riffing. The vocals are raspy, but very clear, as I've already said. Slow melodic, but beefy parts to the heavy parts of the guitar. Right? So this is really good, pretty solid track. I like this one. Barbarians at the Gate is the second track. Some classic kind of sounding riffs with that dominant rolls and fills going on throughout this particular track. I'm just going to turn this off now since I have no use for it anymore. Yeah, hard rocking with melodic 70s like guitar solo going on. Yeah, I just think this is a pretty solid track. The next track out, a little bit weaker than this one. Change, no change. Vocals are high pitched and scorching and screeching at times. A melodic guitar riffing, some slow but scratchy, slower with some scratchy but multiple backing vocals. So you got a lot of voices going on here, is what I'm saying. The next track out, the fourth track, The Edge of the Switchblade. Another good, decent track. Very smooth but rocky vocals. Some heavy soloing on this particular track. Some heavy riffing and drums throughout it. Definitely a hard rocker for sure. And there's multiple vocal parts here which have fills of these catchy riffs and at points in the song. The next song is a little bit shorter than some of the other ones. It's in the 2 to 3 minute range. Black Boots is the name of it. This is Tim McIlrath is also featured on this. Very catchy riff. Some vocals are heavy, clear but raspy, as so many of the songs are. It's a heavy track with some strong, hard rocking riffs throughout this particular track. I did like this one as well. The next three tracks are probably in my range of my best tracks on the album. I Am the Fun. The song is The Phony. Clear, strong vocals. The backing vocals are prominent. Some heavy riffing. Some real catchy guitar, but scrapey at the same time. Got a bit of a whiny guitar solo to it. Yeah, some heavy rasping vocals with a bass part that's pretty dominant on this particular track. Guitar solo is pretty good, pretty catchy. So I did like this song quite a bit. Probably the next song is my favorite on the album. 25 Miles, it's called. Is heavy vocals with very forward Leonard Skinner-like sound going on here. Catchy riffs, hard rocking. The vocals are clear but heavy, raspy, and at times very strong. Guitar parts are strong with some strong backing vocals. So yeah, this is a really good, catchy song. I think it's probably the best on the album. Most of the stuff is a 6 to 7 range. Few songs below that. Because of the Car, which is the next track up, very upbeat guitar part, but a little bit of a distortion use here. Vocals are high, and there's a double vocal feel to this particular song, and it's very forward. The vocals are very forward. So the back half of the album, or the last 5 tracks of the album, at this point, the album is really good. Then it starts to wane. Maybe if they knocked off these last 4 or 5 tracks, probably would have been a stronger album. Boys Who Play With Matches, not a bad track, pretty good. I passed the gate, it got a 6. Vocals are raspy, clear but strong, catchy riff, fast pace, heavy rocker. This is a faster paced song than most of the rest of the tracks on the album. Some heavy electric guitar riffing and soloing going on this track. So this is kind of the last really good song on the album. The next 4, if they cut the album right there at 9 tracks, would have been perfect. But they added these last 4 tracks, and none of them, I think, are that great. Blind Eye, this is one that features Dennis Thompson on it. Vocals are raspy, clear, heavy guitar parts, drumming parts as well. It's a catchy track, I have to say that, but not a fantastic track. Can't Be Found. This is the first of 3 not-so-good tracks. Features Vernon Reid and Dennis Thompson on this particular track. Opens with a kind of a heavy bass and drum part at the beginning. Then it features some heavy guitar parts with some heavy kind of raspy, clear vocals. The solo is pretty dominant at times, but nothing. The song is not terribly memorable. The next track, Blessed It Released, another kind of a slow guitar riff with some clapping going on at times. Got a kind of a bluesy feel to it. The vocals again, raspy but high and bluesy sounding. And I think the guitar is a little bit confusing. It sounds kind of a mess of guitar, I call it. Yeah. The last track, Hit It Hard, featuring Joe Barry. This has got a real heavy, funky sound to it, with the horn, just adds to that funky sound. Funky guitar riff, of course. The vocals are multiple, with a female vocalist in here kind of giving it even more of a funky sound to it. I did like the heavy bass solo and the bluesy vocal part at the end, which I thought was really, really kind of ended with a curve up. So, yeah. So that's it for MC5's Heavy Lifting. That's the name of the album. Recently came out back in October, not too long ago. Decided I wanted to include it in my What's New albums. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please, excuse me. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget the notification bell above my head. If you want to say anything about the album, if you've had a chance to listen to it, it's easy to find. Just punch in MC5, it'll come up right away. You can listen to the full album. If you punch in full album, it'll give you that as well. And if you want to comment about the album, you can do that in the comment section below, or the group, or what's been going on with MC5, or anything I've said. You can put those in the comment section too. And we will be back next Saturday night with another episode of What's New. So take care and have yourself a good evening.